Hiya, Solopreneur Nation. This is an uncaffeinated, overhydrated, unshowered Bo Yoder coming to you live on the interwebs. And look, if you've got this thing, this vision for what the future should be, and you have the guts it takes to venture outside the matrix of normal, safe, boring mediocrity to make it something real, if you've ever been called a dreamer, crazy, or obsessed, if you've ever been told it's time to be responsible and give up on your dreams, yet you know that what you're doing truly matters and it's your moral responsibility to make it happen, so that the world can move forward out of the darkness into the light you are working so hard to make shine, then welcome. My name's Bo Yoder. I'm your Solopreneur Survival Guide, here to help people just like us learn how to best survive your glorious yet hectic period of catastrophic success so that your light sparkles bright in the darkness. Because you're not lazy. You're a freaking genius who's doing exactly what you were born to do. You have amazing focus even though you don't know it, and amazing self-discipline even though you don't believe it. That's just hidden away, waiting for you to discover how to access that if you have just the right structural tools. And if you do, you can and you must take this idea as far and as fast as you can, because the world desperately needs you. Welcome. This is episode 4, and today I'm going to talk about a get-her-done mentality and the minimum viable product. All right, so this is something that I see happening over and over and over again. People get started, they have this idea, they buy a course that shows them a model that might work for their particular niche, and then they start obsessing over the details. They spend weeks figuring out what their logo should look like. They spend a huge amount of time figuring out what words to say, and every single word should be parsed in a certain way, and they miss the entire message. So you'll notice as you go through this that I've launched this business using that process. I've been obsessive over what I want to say, how I want to say it, what I want to get out of my head and into yours. The rest of it, the architecture of that, is going to be a project. It's going to be something that's going to progress and evolve and build along with your feedback and along with my experience in terms of making this content and delivering out into the world. So, I'm not obsessed about whether I have the right camera angle or whether the lighting is just right. I am obsessed over whether you can hear me, so you have a great mic. And I'm also obsessed over if I have clarity about what it is that I'm going to be talking about in each and every one of these issues, because I want each issue to be a nice, tidy, encapsulated piece. So after I'm done with my little 10-minute tirade, I got the timer moving right now, I go back and listen, and I try to really be clear on what did I say? Did I say it clearly? Was there something actionable and an aha moment contained within that little 10-minute discussion that we have here together on these podcasts? So I want you to I give you permission to free yourself from obsession. Free yourself from the fantasy that if you have the wrong color button, or if you have, not enough words according to somebody's model, that your product won't work, or that the market will reject you. And I'm here to tell you that those things can be very, very useful. They can be valuable. Language and communication really are the key. So if your message is wrong, or if there's a disconnect between your message and your target audience, obviously you're going to have a problem. But once you are speaking about something over which you are a stone cold expert, and for those of you to remind you back, a stone cold expert is somebody who knows their stuff, doesn't have to research and stay one step ahead of what they're teaching, but can be, live and answer questions and problem solve in the moment, because they have such a clear and controlled mastery over what it is that they do. So imagine somebody in the kitchen who's a master chef. You could call them up on the telephone and say, "Hey, I made this dish the other day. It didn't come out very well. Here's what seemed to be the problem." And the person will say, "Oh, well, the answer is that your oven is the wrong temperature. You should check that," because they've had that experience. They are an expert. That's the place you should be operating from. If you're not there yet, maybe you have the wrong niche. Maybe you need to be at a different level of competency, and you should really do more work on yourself to get there. But once you've achieved that level of mastery, you have that level of expertise, you really can't be flummoxed because you know your stuff. Then it's time to just vibe and flow. Now, I find that the 10-minute tirade is an excellent tool. In 10 minutes, you can encapsulate one comment. You can really go in deep. You can talk about it at a high level. You can talk about details, and it kind of puts the pressure on you to not just ramble on, but really to keep things focused and on point. So in terms of production value, what are the things that are on my list now after, 4 episodes in here together? Number 1, I think that a camera could be a little bit better. Number 2, I think that I need some help on website design. Definitely going to have somebody look at my blog and figure that out. But you know what? I want you to think about one of the top websites on the internet. the Drudge Report. I don't know if you've ever been to it. It's kind of a news aggregator, very political, has a lot of sensational news on it. It's ugly as sin. But you know what? It works. And that's what I've done with the initial blog format, which by the time you see this may have already changed, is to keep it super simple. I don't want you to come in and be all fancified by my, flash moving things and the welcome music and the animations and all this other stuff. That's not what you're here for. You're here for the content. So my job is to deliver that content as cleanly, as clearly to you as is humanly possible. So minimum viable product is something that comes out of the software world, which is you're building something, you just want to make sure it works so you can start user testing it. And that's really what you're doing when you're bringing something into the marketplace, when you're testing a new sales modality, when you're testing a new product offering. So don't spend 8 months of your life fussing and obsessing over the concept, and the training for a product or something like that that's not relevant to serving your customers. Think about it in terms of that moral quandary. If you go into a hole for 8 months, you're not serving people. Think of all the people that you've missed. Think of all the things that you could have, the transformations you could have caused during that time. You need to be in the trenches because you're going to learn an awful lot from the feedback you get from your clients. What you arrogantly think that it might be their problem may not be their problem. A lot of times you'll see that companies pivot. They think they're solving one problem, and as they actually start to interact with their client base, with the people in their niche, the people they're trying to serve, they realize, ooh, you know what? That thing that I wanted to address initially is important, but there's this other thing that's even more important that they've got to fix before they can get to my core offering. You start to meld those two, boom, everything blows up. Because that's really what we do as entrepreneurs, is we solve problems for money. We sell time and money at a distance. People who come into my practice as clients, I create a total transformation for them. I deliver more work productivity. I deliver less stress and more fun. I deliver more certainty about what it is you need to do, better ways to prioritize. I teach you the art of strategic default, because as a solopreneur, let me tell you, I've been doing this for almost 30 years now. Never once in those 30 years have I ever caught up. It won't happen. And if it does, then you're probably not pushing yourself. So you're always going to be behind. There's always going to be things on your task list that you just can't get to. And being able to shuffle those things around and take some things and put them on the back burner and bring the things in the front that are really important and focus on those while putting out fires and taking care of the immediate needs and concerns that your business creates, that's the skill of solopreneurship. Because you don't have a boss over your shoulder telling you what to do. You don't have the ability to shuffle off that responsibility into somebody else. It's you. You're your CEO. You're your COO. You're your CMO. You're your CIO. You're everything. The whole C-suite is right here in this chair. Now, obviously, once you get to that sort of $100,000 per month revenue level, things begin to open up. You now have the revenue and the ability to hire other people to take on some of those roles. But that's a whole nother discipline. That's a whole nother expertise. My goal is to get people who've broken through in their business, who are having catastrophic success, more success than they know what to deal with, break through that level with ease and joy and fun. So it's not stressful. You don't feel like, holy crap, I just won and now my life is kind of in a hell. Instead, you're excited, you're serving the people, you're doing what you love. You've won. You've worked so hard to get here. You should be able to enjoy it. That's my mission. That's what I do each and every day. So I don't believe that anybody's going to reject me because I don't have a suit and my gold watch on. That's why I very deliberately chose this as my attractive character. These glasses, and that'll be another podcast episode. The 246 hate wall behind me. I've had some questions about that. These are all things that I use as part of my daily workflow to help me. These glasses are to keep me from getting headaches, and we'll talk about that. This outfit is because it grabs people in the social media world. Red is a great color. Plus, it's a sweatshirt. It's comfortable. It's really nice to be able to have that one thing I just put on when I put on a podcast, so I have consistency, so that you all see and begin to iconify this image as delivering that solopreneur survival guide content. It's these little triggers, these little ways of thinking that really separate the haves from the have-nots, and that's what I want to share with you today. So we've got about 2 minutes left on the 10-minute tirade. Isn't that nice? Nice, clean certainty. And again, for those of you who are starting in this process and are trying to build your presence and think about your message, how hard is it to come up with 10 minutes of information about something that you care about? Bullet point that. lay that down. That's something we're going to be talking about. The brainstorming sessions are a hugely valuable way. A structured brainstorming session, you can get so much work done, it's ridiculous. And we'll be talking about that. I got more stuff than you can ever imagine. So for now, I want to focus on the basic core of what I wanted to bring to you today, which is get it done, get it out there, see what your market wants. Solicit feedback, talk to people, make sure that what you're doing is getting the impact that you think and you want and intend for it to have. Because a lot of times it won't. And that's not your failure. You didn't screw up. This isn't some kind of a catastrophic problem. This is the market pivoting you, guiding you, tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, come over here and check this out. That could take you to a whole new place, which is just, beyond your comprehension and beyond your wildest dreams. Remember, the more people that you serve, the more money that you make, the more of an impact you have, the better this entrepreneurial experience becomes. The more people you have, the more revenue you have, the more people you can have to have help. If you feel overwhelmed, then you need to start bringing on other teammates. Okay? So focus on the message. Be obsessive about the product, the outcome. Be obsessive about the clarity of communication. And don't worry about the other stuff as much. It will make an incremental difference. There will be some people who don't buy because I don't have a super slick website and it doesn't look like it was, made by some corporate entity. That's okay. Those aren't the people I'm talking to. Who is your customer avatar? Really spend some time on that. Who is the person you're talking to? Well, the person I'm talking to, the person I want to attract to myself, the person I want to work with, and the person I'm excited about is somebody who's working right now in their pajamas. So it would be sort of silly and incongruent if I slick my hair back and put my suit on, right? So think about your customer avatar. Think about what they need, what they really need, not what they want, because that's a different argument. What they really need to get from here to there, to get from where they are now to where you would like them to be and where they would like themselves to be. And then build that architecture. You'll see if you come in as a client that the architecture I've built on the back end, so simple. I've discovered that people don't really respond to slick websites. They don't respond to 2 and 3 hour training videos. They respond to ideas. They respond to inspirational concepts. They respond to an enabling and empowering communication method that says, oh my God, I really could do that. That's a great idea. I'm going to do that right now. And so I try to keep my trainings short. I don't get lost in the false premise of value. You have something that you pay a lot of money for. Now you have to have 150 hours of training. I mean, I could bury you in content, but then you might feel there's a perception of quality, but you wouldn't get anything done. I'm not selling you content. I'm selling you results. And for most of you out there, I really want you to think about that. You're not really selling content. You're selling results, transformation, the thing, if you have a physical product that actually shows up in somebody's life. So focus on creating that minimal viable product, get it into the marketplace, solicit feedback, learn, adapt, grow into something that's really wonderful that the world wants and needs. All right. So if hopefully that resonates with you, if you want more links, the show notes and resources for this episode, please go to ssg.guide/SSG4 for episode 4. And for some free training, you can always visit training.ssg.guide. And I want you to remember, you are not lazy. You are not crazy. You are a freaking genius who's doing exactly what you were born to do. You do have amazing focus. You do have amazing self-discipline. You just lack the right structural tools. And you can and should take this as far as you possibly can, because if you're talking to me here, if you're listening to what I'm putting out, you've already broken through. The market is accepting and interested in what you're doing. And now that is creating overwhelm, which is holding you back from really scaling your business to where it needs to be. So we're going to fix that. You're hitting a wall. That's okay. That's normal. I'm your sledgehammer, baby. Let's move forward. See you next time.